Here's the secret or the truth behind how I get white hair for my Gojo cosplay while being a black person with dark hair. Not that you have to be black or have dark hair to learn something from this, however those factors did influence my thought processing and how I executed things, so they may influence how you do your hair as well. So grab a snack and some Martinelli's because I'm going to explain the entire process and the revelation that I had. When I first cosplayed Gojo, I was so excited that I had white hair wax, I had white hair colorant, and my hair turned out gray, and like a bluish gray. I was very confused. And I was confused because I've seen plenty of Gojo cosplays with various skin tones and they all have white hair. But then I finally went back and took a look and really paid attention, and they either had a wig on, they either dyed their hair to some sort of silver or blonde tone so it wasn't even white, or they used their natural hair and they used some sort of white product and it became gray. So at some point in my head I just misremembered that someone was using their natural hair and made it white, but that wasn't true. And in that moment the truth clicked. Okay, so you can't have black or dark hair and actually make your hair white without chemically altering it or using some sort of editing. Or both. Unless there is some sort of product that I don't know about that coats your hair perfectly without making it sticky and gooey and losing its integrity, but I haven't heard of it. So while the revelation wasn't that shocking or that difficult to come to, I just didn't realize it until after I had committed to the Gojo cosplay. And this actually lowered my enthusiasm for making more Gojo content. And that's because he's such an iconic character, he represents so much and his hair color is so important. When I was cosplaying him, it just felt like I wasn't quite there, even though I knew mentally I was doing everything I could. But also other people just couldn't recognize the nuance of me using my natural hair and basic color theory. So the following interactions still happen to this very day when I cosplay someone and my hair is not the perfect color. Your hair's the wrong color. Your cosplay's wrong. Yeah, I know it's gray, but it's supposed to represent Gojo, and you know it's Gojo. You can tell that it's Gojo. That's just as light as my hair can get. You're probably using the wrong hair products or you're doing it wrong. Have you tried white hair wax? Oh, actually I did use that. I also used white hair colorant. And it's just that when you take white hair product and black hair, you get gray. I'm actually very knowledgeable about colors, and while I've seen other cosplayers have white hair, why aren't you trying as hard as them? You should try white hairspray. Moving on. At this point, I changed gears and I started to think not in terms of cosplay makeup, but in terms of art and editing. How can I at least edit my photos to have white hair? How do I even make white? So the first step was still lightening my hair any way I could, that way it wasn't just black across the board, and when I used the white hair wax and white hair coloring to make it gray, that gave me some highlights, midtones, and shadows to work with. Then I used the levels tool to boost the midtones and the highlights and essentially the brighter parts of the hair, and usually I don't touch the shadows and the blacks because they work out really well. Then I'll go in and use the color select tool to mess with the cyans, magentas, and blues, because pure white hair isn't a thing. Even if you had hair that was perfectly white across the board, you would still have midtones and shadows, and it would still reflect whatever colors are surrounding it. So even though Gojo's hair is white and we perceive it as white and it's represented as white, it's often drawn with pink, purple, and blue tones. And so I typically follow that pattern as a baseline, especially when they have a white background, but again that changes depending on his environment. So what you don't want to do is go in and turn down the saturation or the vibrancy and try to make everything a grayscale. It won't look correct. And honestly, it worked out really well and I was pretty happy with it. But it just didn't work out for videos. So when it came to Gojo video content, I just had to suck it up and leave his hair as gray. Until Adobe finally released the Rotobrush 2 tool. Or was it 3? Basically, Adobe improved the Rotobrush tool, which made masking so much easier. So aside from excessive errors, which causes a bunch of your projects to crash these days, now I'm able to go in, get a detailed mask of my hair, and apply the same effects that I would from Photoshop onto my videos. But there's also two key things that made this even possible in the first place. Number one is my hair texture. My hair texture and hair shape make it possible for me to easily mask out my hair. If I had long, straight, flowy hair, it would be much harder to get a mask. I would have to use something like green screening or chroma keying, and it just wouldn't be worth it, and it would be way too hard to get something as clean as I can right now. And number two, by the time the new Rotobrush came out, I had my hair bleached. So that meant in general my hair was a bit brighter, which meant I needed less editing, which meant that it looked more realistic when I tried to make it white. So to recap, to get this nice white hair look that I have with my Gojo reboot, I had my hair bleached from black to blonde, and even though it grew out, it was still blonde enough. I then added white hair products to my hair to brighten it up even more. Then I edited my hair to brighten up the colors and counteract the yellow tones. So yes, the sucky truth is that for every photo that you see where my hair is looking kind of white, I went in and edited it. For every single video clip that you see where my hair is white, I went in, rotoscoped each clip, and edited my hair. I haven't gone back and tried to edit my gray hair Gojo videos until today. It honestly looks pretty good. At the end of the day, it is a lot of work for Gojo, but it's Gojo, so it's worth it.